Hey everybody, tonight's review is on the Casagrandes movie. So the plot of this movie is it's Ronnie Ann's 12th birthday and she wants to go out skating with her friends, but her family already has a plan for her birthday. They're all going on a family trip to Mexico, which because they're obviously a Mexican family. And Ronnie Ann is, of course, a little bitter about it because they're forcing her to do something, and she already had plans of her own, but her mom pressures her anyway, so they all go to Mexico, and they find out a little bit of, Ronnie Ann finds out a little bit of a scenario is going on. It's, she learns that centuries ago there was a teen demigoddess named Punguari who unleashed a very powerful volcano god after she stole a mask because Punguari wanted to become a flat out goddess. So she she really had no idea about Akumu's rising because and she really never believes Ronnie Ann about because Ronnie Ann just goes about mind her own business and she finds out about the huge god and of course and she disguises herself as a human and pretends to be Ronnie Ann's friend only she only wants to use her to steal that same mask. And then the Ukumu, the volcano god, arises, and Ronnie Ann has a big adventure about out where she teaches her family that she can do stuff on her own, and she's responsible enough now that she's a teenager. Before I should give my thoughts, I should probably say what I think about the Casagrande show. I actually watched the entire series to prepare for this movie, and I like the show. You know, for a spin-off that wasn't really needed, I think it's good for what it is. The show, it's kind of funny how just like Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, this movie comes out after the show ends, but I guess it's kind of a good thing. Unlike a lot of people, I don't get upset when shows end, well, a lot of them, because it makes it easier to catch up because you don't have to be stressed out about being behind, but yeah, I like it. It is a bit different from The Loud House. I mean, it kind of is the same plot, like it's a giant family and a bunch of chaos ensues and a bunch of kids, have their own scenarios of childhood. But it takes place in a more urban area rather than the suburbs. And of course, given the family's Hispanic, it touches on a lot of Mexican culture, which I do like. Just like LT Gray, it's good to see another Nicktoon focus on a different kind of culture. So now we have this movie, and I think the movie is good. I actually did quite enjoy it. I like how it is kind of like the Loud House movie a bit. Like both movies are about of the family going on a vacation, but I think it has enough to stand on its own. I mean, I guess for one thing, yeah, the Loud House movie, it did have like the fantasy scenario with the dragon and such, but this movie, I think it dialed up more on the fantasy. Like it wasn't a standard slice of life sitcom like the show. It actually was a more bigger adventure in a more exotic location, and it really gives the main character, a big adventure to be in instead of just, the everyday pressures of being a preteen. So I like how they kind of gave a little bit of a more over the top scenario, and it really emphasized the fact that it's a cartoon. The animation is good. I mean, it is a little. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have a problem with this because obviously, if this is a movie, it likely did have a bigger budget. But the animation's kind of weird, like right after watching the show, because the animation looks a little too fluid. There's kind of a little too much shading. I mean, it looks good. Like, I think on the big screen, this probably could have looked good, but it just kind of looks a little weird. But I don't know. Maybe on a rewatch, maybe it'll look good. The characters, like, I mean, the Casa Grande show, it was actually full of some interesting characters, and they were all really likable. But here, that's kind of one of the problems with this. A lot of them have nothing to do. I mean, in the Loud House movie, at least, while it was primarily Lincoln's story, at least all the other family members got a say in the story. Here, they're mostly just sidelined. Like, Bobby's only in it a couple times for a few jokes. Carl is hardly in it. Carlota is she's in it a bit, but like mostly it's just about Ronnie, which I guess makes sense. She is the main character. I guess I can't really judge that. And it was definitely an interesting story. Find out like about a powerful demigoddess and about a volcano god. Like that was something like pretty unusual to see in a movie based on such a slice of life down to earth show. But it was a unique twist, so that made it a bit more unpredictable. And the characters all still felt in character, and it kind of felt like a good scenario for them to put in because in the show, every other problem they faced was very mundane. So putting them in a more exotic story kind of just felt a little bit of a twist. Like it was very interesting to see. So in that aspect, yes, I did like it. Yeah, the thing about the twist villain about how like there's a girl, like the ancient demigoddess is disguised as a child girl. When you see Ronnie Ann meeting a child, you're like, something feels a bit suspicious about this because, like, yeah, they wouldn't just include a side character without like a major conflict of the film. So yeah, but I do at least give it a point for trying some creativity into the Loud House franchise, just like the Loud House movie. So yeah, the Casagrandes movie. I mean, well, it's I'd say it's not quite as good as the Loud House movie, but it's probably almost on par. I do think it's good enough. If you do like the show, I think you'll enjoy this movie for sure. It's not very long. It's only like 80 minutes, so it goes by quick, and it has some fun, colorful animation, and kids will find it wacky and fun. So it's a fun movie. Like, would I watch it again? I wouldn't rewatch it a billion times, but you know what? I had my fun. I really could have done worse. So yeah, the Casagrandes movie, not one of the best Nicktoon movies. Like, obviously, it's not the first SpongeBob movie good, because that movie is top tier Nicktoon movie. But I think for what it is, this movie was still pretty good. So yeah, that's my review of the Casagrandes movie. So see you later, and hope you all have a good Easter.